Jungle.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Aaron Keanu. Welcome to another week of Movie Talk. So, last week we had our review of Stranger Things and Spider-Man Far From Home. Hopefully you guys saw it already. Kind of felt like a while ago for some reason. I don't know why. And,
yeah, same.
It's honestly like my first time writing notes in a while because like we took last week to just, free ball and just talk about the movie and show. But I don't know. Some news came out. Some comic book movie stuff, but mainly like other properties like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. But I know Keanu saw this movie, Dark Phoenix. It's his favorite movie.
Big facts.
Yeah, big facts. One of his top favorite movies, but there was like a news report saying that like Dark Phoenix is actually making less money than 2015's Fantastic Four reboot, which is really depressing.
Insane. That's insane.
That's so depressing, man. And they have 64.628 million as of July 8th. And let's see.
It has 64 million?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's it. As of July 8th.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
I know, for as long as it's been out. It's been a while. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
So once you release something and you like earn about like let's say 1.25 of your budget back, like that's when you make money. But Fantastic Four, it earned 167.9 million compared to its 120 million budget, so it kind of made its profit back. But Dark Phoenix would need to make at least 278 million to break even. So that's just so bad.
And yeah, because one of the things that people don't realize, like the average moviegoer doesn't know, and you wouldn't know this unless you start really studying it, like like I do for fun for no reason whatsoever because I'm boring. But a film does not make money just by releasing. A film does not just make money by making back its budget. A film its budget does not most of the time does not include marketing. Marketing most of the time is almost the same as like price as the budget itself. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of times these films will be filmed on an $80 million budget, a $200 million budget. And it makes 80 million, it makes 200 million. And people are like, "Oh, okay, it broke even." But it's not really it's actually not breaking even. It's not breaking because the cost of marketing alone is putting a deficit on that. And then on top of that, you figure these companies don't make movies to break even. They make movies to make money. Yeah. So it's actually pretty insane how much money is needed or expected from these films. That's why horror films are as lucrative as they are, and comedies sometimes, but mainly horror films. Horror films are shot on a shoestring budget. They're shot on 10 million, 15 million, and then they're released nationally. And people, no matter how, there's always enough people who are interested enough in being scared because, what I'm saying, people don't really, not the average moviegoer doesn't go to a horror film for a plot. They go to be scared. And there's, fundamental ways to do that successfully, even with a bad plot. So these films, these horror films end up surpassing X-Men Apocalypse in successfulness because of that reason. And it's a pretty interesting thing when you start to really look into it, how much money these companies expect from their films.
Yeah, the point is, if you're investing in a movie, you're still going to lose money in a way. You know what I mean? So like a best example of what you said, because the horror genre, Paranormal Activity, Conjuring, like those movies were very cheap to make. Gangbusters. And why do you think we have so many Paranormal Activity movies? It's not because we demanded it. It's because they're making stupid money, like maybe triple of what they actually put in to make the movie. So yeah, once you consider like advertising, which is a huge thing, and this is a superhero property, so you're gonna be shooting money into it, I just didn't think it would be this bad, to be honest. Like, it's crazy. Let's see. See, they said now analysts believe that Dark Phoenix will ultimately make around 250 million at the worldwide box office against a budget over 200 million. So it's like, even if it passes like its certain whatever range it made, it's still losing money with the other shit that's not mentioned, like you said. God damn, like Kinberg really fucked up. or just I don't know, like I feel like it's a number of factors because like one, Simon Kinberg kind of screwed it up, and two, I think the average moviegoer was like, oh, another X-Men movie when we're all like Marvel Studios out, you know what I mean, like all out for that. I don't know. It just sucks it had to end on a bad note, but not just a bad note, but like it was really bad. And now we have to like put it in the same sentence as Fantastic Four, and that was a shit show, like behind the scenes, where the director even tweeted saying, "Oh, this wasn't my movie" before it came out. You know what I mean? And like Josh Trank, you don't even hear from him anymore. I think that destroyed his career.
That guy disappeared. Yeah, because remember he was going to do a Star Wars film. He was going to do what film was?
Yeah,
what was it that he was going to do? I think they were saying it was rumored to be Boba Fett, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
like it was rumored to be that. It was going to be a spinoff film, and then it just like
yeah, there was rumors about the Boba Fett being a movie about something stealing the Death Star plans. It's kind of similar to Rogue One, but with mercenaries and stuff. But so Trank did. What was that movie with the superhero powers that was like handheld camera?
Not Chronicle. Is it Chronicle? What is it?
Chronicle. Yeah, there you go. That was like his breakout movie that caught a lot of people's attention for like what it was, and the fact that he did such a bad PR move that he had to tweet about Fantastic Four being so like discombobulated, and that killed it. But like harking back to Dark Phoenix, it's just like damn. Like I already knew it was already gonna be bad, but like now it's really gonna be like that shitty. And it sucks to see because what is this gonna do for X-Men? You know, and with Marvel, like under Marvel's hands, like the real Marvel. It's like are they gonna push it back because they want to get it out of people's minds? But I think our audience is a little smarter nowadays, where we know what's tied to the MCU universe. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that like Feige needs to like stall for X-Men to happen?
No, that's the $1 million question. You know, I'm torn. Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact they don't have to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
Marvel doesn't have to. They're certified at this point. People will see. All you have to do, worst comes to worst, you just have to put like a flashback to Iron Man in the trailer, and you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Then people will be like, oh, this is in this universe. Yeah. That being said, I do think with how Kevin Feige is, I mean, he's very particular to create that cleanser for the palate and create that break in order to get it out of people's heads, because it was a similar situation with Spider-Man, not the same but similar in that Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't as successful as they wanted. It was the end, end up ending a franchise like this did, and so it was a very unique situation where Sony basically went to Marvel and was like, hey, we got to keep making movies, but do you want to join us in making the movies? So they didn't really have an option. Not that they were saying no Spider-Man because he's the most lucrative superhero, in merchandising, but it's a little bit different because it was, they had to make the film. You know what I'm saying? Like Sony will continue making his films no matter what. So Marvel was like, why don't we get something out of it and add them to the MCU? But now that Marvel owns these properties, Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're in no rush to make the film, and I think Kevin Feige is very particular about how his events and how he makes these films, and I do think he'll end up deciding to give it a break, give it maybe a little like an extra year's break just because of this film.
Mm-hmm. No, as long as it's a year, because I don't think they should do like a whole 5-year break. You know what I mean? If they tied it to Iron Man, that'd be cool, but I would like prefer like a flashback of Wolverine fighting next to Captain America just to tie it up.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
So it's like it's tied, but it's not like the X-Men plot's heavily dependent on the effects, like the influence of Iron Man and all that stuff. It's like its own thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That would like sum it up in 2 seconds. Like, oh, Chris Evans is in it. Like, it's a little cameo. Like, oh, this is the MCU. Like, even you could throw it in like the first 10 seconds of a 2-minute trailer if they like dropped it. But I mean, this is like we'll skip around a little bit, but like San Diego Comic-Con's happening, and Marvel's making a comeback, and Feige and a bunch of panelists are going to be there with a lot of unmentioned people. So like, I mean, my hopes and dreams is literally X-Men and Fantastic Four getting announced. But like so far, we have Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel 2 is going to happen, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and yeah, I mean. And Black Widow, of course, which they haven't officially announced, but that's like they're officially slated for that on Saturday. So it's like last year they weren't even there. So now that they're coming back, especially post Endgame, I think like this lineup's kind of underwhelming in my opinion. I think it's gonna make money, but like I don't see Black Panther as like a as the leader yet. I don't see Captain Marvel as the leader yet. Neither is Doctor Strange. But like Feige did say, Phase 4 is going to be so different. So I don't know what to really expect. And we remember like Disney gave out a whole list of like release dates, but I don't know if all these match up like 1-to-1, or there's a couple like films that they just haven't announced yet. So I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts?
I mean, you and I are in the same boat in this instance. I mean, these are. I'm not. I'm not. At least we've talked about this. As of right now, I'm not. We're not like, oh my gosh, pumped. I mean, we're not like not excited for these films, but they're very standard affair. And like, I mean, I completely agree. I don't see these characters as like. I don't see this as the next Iron Man. I don't see this as the next Captain America, and it does seem like that's not what they're trying. That's kind of what they're going for anyway. They're not just trying to repeat it, but you can't help but kind of feel like, oh man, where's the next Iron Man? What's the next Captain America? Mm-hmm. So, I'm definitely. I mean, like we said. I mean, I would love to see some sort. I mean, Eternals. I feel like Eternals has the biggest potential to be like a surprise, right? Like I feel like that's a film that like, if done right. It could be the Guardians of the Galaxy which is funny because now there's already a Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's a certified hit at this point. Like I feel like Eternals can be that like wow factor, like that they can show it and it could be something so different that people go, okay, maybe we don't have a next Iron Man, maybe we don't have a next Captain America film, but this Eternals looks so different and so fresh. I'm willing to be excited for this. So I guess we'll see, right? I mean, I guess that's all we can really do at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to do Eternals because, like, when we talk about Eternals, it's like gods. So,
and it's like I think of like politics. Like I don't even know if that's the case, but I feel like I think of politics.
I'm thinking Game of Thronesy type of thing, and I heard it's like thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? Like, so we're messing with like these huge beings, and I don't know how. If you want to up the scale, because one, those are going to be gods, and Captain Marvel's so strong, but like, doesn't that like put down the other characters like Black Panther? Because like, how do they match up with each other? But that's just, well, we can't really judge because we have to see some footage yet. I mean, we'll find out this summer when Comic-Con happens. But like other news is like,
why is Captain Marvel so strong?
It's such bullshit with it. I just watched it last
really
night.
It really did mess up the power balance with that.
Honestly, like, because I like, in my opinion, like, I think Thor and Captain Marvel should be even.
Exactly.
Because in the comics, Thor would destroy her. In my opinion, like I think with the Odin Force and everything, he would destroy her. But like in the MCU, definitely. It's so different. It's so different.
Yeah, it would have been. The right move would have been to have her at Thor level powers.
But the thing is, I like Captain Marvel. Like I don't like the MCU interpretation of her, but in the comics, like I'm excited to use her in Ultimate Alliance when it comes out this week. Like you know what I mean? Like she'll definitely in my team. But like, I don't know. I'm okay with where her power like I'm not actually not okay with her power scale, but I just hope it's not like politically influenced for her to be the big gun. Do you know what I mean? And plus, like, I don't really, because they were hyping her up to be like, oh, the first female hero when there's a bunch of female heroes. Like you can see it in Endgame and stuff like that. But I think they should like, since it's not only bad for the character, but it's like it's for the rest of the Avengers. Like, how do we compare like Black Panther in an Avengers movie when Captain Marvel's just like she can single-handedly do it? You know?
Yeah.
Well, like, are they gonna Endgame her where they like write her off,
sideline her for like the 3/4 of the film? Or not even like 5/6.
Yeah, and then she literally shows up at the final battle. Like, we can't keep doing that. You know?
They didn't. I feel like they did not think that through. Like, how did Feige let them make her so powerful? Because you literally, any instance where she's there, it's like, okay, it's almost like a Batman situation where it's like, okay, all these like Superman and Flash are doing all this crazy stuff. What is Batman supposed to do? Like, how is he supposed to really be helping?
No, it's so true. And I heard there was rumors that like the Russo brothers didn't want Captain Marvel in the original script, but like since she was coming out, they had to like write her in. So like, that's not like, don't take it as fact, but that's what I heard. But like if that were to be true, it's like, damn, okay, so I understand why they did this and that. Because clearly, like at the end of Endgame, like I'm assuming you guys saw it. Like Captain Marvel could fuck up Thanos herself, and so can Scarlet Witch. Let's add that there. Um,
Hmm.
it's just I don't know. She's just too damn strong. Like they need to nerf her a little bit. Like get an update, like or something. But like other news is like Falcon and Winter Soldier for their Disney Plus series. They got the John Wick writer and creator Derek Kolstad. This is from the Wrap, and they'll be working on a script with the original writer Malcolm Spellman. So I'm for anything John Wick in
Absolutely.
into the MCU. That doesn't just include writing. I'm assuming they're gonna get action involved with that. It's funny because there was actually rumors. I was going to mention this later in the show. There's actually rumors that they were trying to get Falcon in Spider-Man: Far From Home, and they actually considered it at one point, but they were just like, nah, it's not going to happen. But the director, John Watts, he confirmed. So there's like two different stories. John Watts like confirmed, that wasn't like ever considered. So it's like weird because it's from different parts of like the same project saying two different things. But like, what would your thoughts be? And like, would you want to consider having Falcon show up in Far From Home? But like, what if that's his introduction as Captain America? Like, how would you take that? As like a cameo at the end.
I'm like, I think it'd be cool. I don't know. I feel like I think it'd be cool, but at the same time, I feel like the film did a really good job of well, you figure like for me, I feel like I really like the film, and I feel like it did a good job of focusing on Spider-Man. And one of the only downfalls, or minor, critiques that we had was that it was a little too Iron Man heavy. So like, I definitely think that I think it's a really cool premise, and as a fan, I would love it to happen, but as a film fan, I kind of feel like it's unneeded because it is a Spider-Man film, and if Falcon is Captain America, if anything, should get its own vehicle to make it happen, because it is such a monumental passing of the torch.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I was debating like, would this be a good takeoff to hype up Falcon and Winter Soldier? I don't know, but I do agree with what you said because when we saw Far From Home, we were like, it's in the MCU, but it was such a tight-knit story. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if we had Falcon in it, or AKA Captain America, it would kind of like take us out, Yeah. And I think the Iron Man stuff was enough for it to like keep people noted that it's in the MCU. But with the two post-credit scenes we got, were solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially
Yep.
the last one,
Yep.
so
Yep.
solid.
Yep.
But we don't know yet till we actually see Disney Plus, like what the quality it's actually going to show.
I mean,
like,
we know it's gonna be top tier.
It's going to be top. Yeah.
They're saying the Mandalorian's budget went from 100 million to like 150 million.
Yeah. So I was going to mention that later, but yeah.
Oh, is it in the notes? I didn't get a chance to scroll down.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, no, but like I'll mention it now, but like apparently for the Mandalorian, they spent 15 million an episode. So it did add up to like 150 million because I think it's like 11 episode arc or 8, I forget. But yeah, the point is Disney's putting that guap in these properties, and
they had to because like they tried to make a Star Wars movie in the past. I mean, show in the past before. I think it was before Marvel even bought LucasArts. They tried in the past and they couldn't do it. Like it was too expensive. There was no way to realize the Star Wars on a TV budget. So I mean,
yes, that's true.
This was always a Game of Thrones level budget was always required. So I'm very happy to see that it's getting. Excuse me. That's getting this amount of funding, and I mean it's guaranteed. It's a guaranteed hit. Like Disney Plus is going to be a hit. There's no question about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a hit, and it's like other properties like Lord of the Rings. They're getting their own show from Amazon. So it's like I hear their budget's like ridiculous too. So it's like like the whole business aspect of streaming is going to be crazy. But like one question I was watching on like one of my YouTube channels, and it was, do you think Disney with Disney Plus coming out, is it going to dethrone Netflix when it doesn't cover all of the demographic that Netflix has, like mature content like Orange is the New Black and Stranger Things? Because I still think post Disney Plus they'll coexist, but I think Netflix is still going to be the godfather of this industry.
Yeah,
for
but don't
streaming.
it's hard though, because don't forget Disney Plus is probably gonna have a Hulu bundle.
See, that's the
So
thing. I don't. That's the thing to consider. Like, we don't know what they're gonna cut off with Hulu. But yeah, no, you did bring up a good point.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
guess to technically answer your question, I mean technically, I don't think just Disney Plus will do it,
mhm.
but so that's the answer to that. But then the next question is, will Disney Plus plus Hulu, Disney Plus plus
Yeah,
Hulu, because they're going to do a combo deal, because that's what they're doing. I mean, they've been upfront saying, Disney Plus will be for the young, it will be for PG-13 and
mhm.
under, and Hulu will be for anything not under the main Disney umbrella, or above PG-13. So it's like they've
Yeah.
always had this two program, this two streaming platform strategy.
Yeah, no, I'm actually in complete agreement. But yeah, like if we had to separate them, Disney Plus from Hulu, I still think Netflix would be, ahead of it. But like, yeah, if we had to consider like outside the picture of Disney and Hulu, yeah, it would dominate. But at the same time, I don't think people would know that Hulu's paired up with Disney. Like, because I feel like it's just us, like, the nerdy people that are looking into it and stuff, like the logistics. But I mean, we just got to see because it's coming out this fall, like around November, December, in time for the holiday. And geez, it's just getting so competitive of a market. I
Yeah,
mean,
now we
there.
got, is it in the notes? I can't tell if it's in the notes. I don't know. Now we have HBO Max.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, and they're not, they even, so they announced HBO Max, which is Warner Brothers version of, of their streaming service. So it's gonna be, they're taking Friends off of Netflix to go to HBO Max, and
Oh wow.
HBO Max is gonna have Cartoon Network, Boomerang, TBS, TNT, uh, DC, Warner Brothers. So that's another like Goliath. Like that's another. It's not. I don't know that it's as big. I mean, it's as close to as Disney as you're gonna get.
Hmm.
Um, and that's it. So like the market is really like the market right now. The market has been starting to get saturated because you have these smaller ones, DC Universe, Boomerang, Verve, whatever it's called. You have all these small ones, and it's like okay, but now we're getting the big dogs in. We're getting the full blown Disney content. We're getting the full
Hmm.
blown Warner Brothers, and so it'll really be interesting because now we're getting like the titans of the industry competing against each other.
Yeah, it just sucks because it's like, how are we gonna funnel one thing and like, because every there's gonna be exclusives to every service, and it's like
Yep.
we can't get it unless we get that service. So
Yep.
like to hark back, um, okay, so The Office, like you said, Friends, The Office is leaving Netflix, not because Netflix wants it back. The company that I think NBC is having their own streaming channel, and
Ugh.
that they bought The Office back for $500 million in hopes that it would attract people. I mean, okay, everyone loves The Office. It's great. I love it too. I love Parks and Rec, but I don't think it's enough to bring people to leave Netflix and then
Just
get, yeah,
buy the box
just
set.
buy the box set and there you go. You're just gonna have to change a CD
Or
or
just
like,
not buy the box set, buy it on iTunes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
yeah. There's other options. You don't have to, like, you buy the box set. It's one and done, and it's just there's so many. Yeah, like you said, there's all the Titans are going against each other, and it's like we're on unprecedented territory when it comes to streaming service now. But like Netflix came at such a good time that it managed to have at least Friends and The Office and Parks and Rec.
yeah.
To start it off, that's where they beat everyone. But now that they lost it, they already have their footing in everything else. Like they already have good original content that I think it's gonna be fine. It's really gonna be fine, and we'll talk about Stranger Things. That'll be in the bonus round, but Netflix is straight killing it. But like harking back to Marvel stuff, like we're talking about Endgame versus Avatar, and with the whole re-release, Endgame hasn't taken down Avatar yet.
Maybe if
So,
the re-release was such a lackluster ass.
did you see the deleted scene with the Hulk? It looks so
Nah,
bad. It's
just why that was
it's
so dumb.
like it's so bad. Like it's unfinished CGI. It's not just a deleted scene. It's like it's an unfinished like
Who thought of this?
I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know what
It's so
the
close, though.
re-release.
Goodness,
I mean, it's close.
it
It's
ju-
very
it just
close.
got revised.
Uh huh.
So it's 7 million away.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so Marvel, let's see, thought a 2.8. Yeah, so it made 2.78 billion worldwide, and it's literally 7.16 million behind Avatar, which is 2.788 billion record. Geez, it's
I mean,
just
at this
like
point, they just need to leave it in a couple theaters and it'll make it.
yeah, it will make it. I think it will. I just think it just you know what,
It's
like you said, what leaves me butthurt is the re-release.
It was,
Uh,
and come on, you know they have more deleted scenes. Like, if you're gonna do it right. Like, why'd you do such a half-ass cop out? Like, why didn't you just, you have bonus scenes ready for the Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, exactly.
So why would you not just throw that in there? Like, what? Who on earth thought of this? That was so dumb.
Because okay, so for the audience, the re-release of Marvel, they gave you a poster if you made it. That's limited.
While
of
supplies
course.
last.
While supplies last. Read the fine print, ladies and gentlemen. And they had a deleted scene with the Hulk, and they had an intro by I think it was Joe Russo.
I think it was
It's one of the
Anthony
Russos. Yeah,
I
it's
think it was
one of the.
Anthony Russo.
Okay, we'll say Anthony, and it's just like okay, it's kind of like a thank you, and that's it.
Thank you for paying more money.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if I felt butthurt because I don't want Marvel to think that like we're idiots. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Especially with the internet at our fingertips. Like we're such a well-adjusted society, we can like find out like what's gonna come and like what to expect. But like I don't see this happening for like families. Like if I don't know. I think it's just a push for like the real nerds. But like if you're gonna push for the real like fans, like you have to put some real content in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think families are gonna rewatch it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't bring my kids. So like, hey, we're gonna go watch this again because there's like 10 minutes of footage. That's
Not even.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-hour film.
And if you have a family, you're on a budget. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to the movies all the time, and especially with this world today, it's I don't know. But just like Marvel, don't be pulling that shit off again. Like seriously.
Yeah. And if you do another re-release, that shit better have like 20 minutes worth of
at least 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes or something crazy like
yeah,
something
like
crazy.
What they should have did was they should have if they really didn't want to throw in any of the actual deleted scenes, then don't show me don't show me a Spider-Man that's about to come out in 2 days. Show me freaking Black Widow teaser. You know what I'm saying? Show me something that's so actual exclusive that you're like, okay, now I got. You know what I'm saying? Show me, even if you don't have it read, show me a clip from Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yes.
Like, come on, and it's perfect because it's like you end the film and you're like, man, Falcon's gonna be Captain America now. How that's gonna be? And they're like, surprise, you paid to see it again, so now you get to see a little taste of what he's gonna be like. Like, come on.
Yes. Imagine they did this instead of like going to Comic-Con. They announced their lineup and they each had a clip at the end of the movie of like every film footage, like so far.
That'd be dope.
How crazy would that be? Like it's like a 3-minute clip of like short clips of like all the like maybe 30 seconds of each property that's coming out. You're like, what?
That's a sizzle reel and a half.
Yeah, I'd put my money for that. I mean, it would get recorded on a phone eventually, but like
definitely.
That's enough money to get people on a Thursday night to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you're like, oh my gosh, like it's like a flash forward. You're like, oh man, there's so much happening. There's so much like, and you're not getting like they could choose the tamest parts of the film, but we would just be so enamored by all this content. Like, oh my gosh, exactly. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
I mean, that's just like a dream. Like that would be insane if how they announced it was a way to make for them to be an incentive. Because I mean, Marvel. I don't know how it works when Marvel shows up to San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, they're not again all the profit because obviously the convention and blah blah blah. The company has to get money, but if they did it like that, that'd be ridiculous. But like if we're gonna move on for Endgame, Spider-Man: Far From Home. So we're kind of gonna go over the numbers. Like so, Tuesday it opened. They were predicting it would go from 40 million to 43 million Tuesday, but it actually broke 39.3 million, breaking the record of the highest Tuesday opening of all time. The previous record holder was 2012's Amazing Spider-Man, which earned 35 million. So on Wednesday, they took in 27 million, giving it the best ever hump day gross for the Marvel Cinematic Universe entry and one of the best non-opening grosses ever for any movie. So right now, as of 4th of July, Far From Home sits at 91.35 million after taking in 25 million from 4th of July that day. So this like Spider-Man's latest like solo entry is the second best ever Independence Day haul after 2007's Transformers, which brought in 29 million. So that's good to know. But like right now, as of today, internationally, John Watts' movie is collected 100 million and has now lifted its global sum to 847 million with a 274.5 domestic. So if you break that up, it's also what I said with the domestic, it'd be 572 for the foreign. And it's now the fourth highest grossing film of the year and on course to becoming the first $1 billion Spider-Man movie. So damn, it deserved it. It deserved it.
And that's good because it's going to help show Sony, like, listen, you still need Marvel for your Spider-Man movies.
See, that's what I was going to say, because I think this past week or last week, there's been a lot of talk about Sony potentially pulling Spider-Man back. And I don't know how valid it is, but they were saying that if it doesn't break... Someone leaked it, and someone said that if it doesn't break $1 billion, they're going to take Spider-Man back.
Yeah, I heard the same rumor.
Even if it doesn't break $1 billion and say it's like 900, 800, like... You're not gonna do better,
right?
You're not gonna do better. Like you can't. Like you're not gonna. He's not gonna show up in an Avengers movie. Are you kidding me? Like you're not gonna have any references to the MCU. Like people are gonna get. It's gonna fall back so bad on them. And I think who's her name? Amy Pascal. Do you know her name?
Yeah, Amy Pascal. That's it.
She's just. I don't know. But like at this point with 847 million as of now. So it was this statistic was from yesterday. I think it's gonna break it. It's so early. I just feel like
definitely.
I feel like we watched the movie like so long ago. Am I the only one?
No, I agree. It feels like it was like eons ago.
Yeah, because it was like I think because of the holiday and plus like it's summer and people having plans and we're working all week. Like it just felt like it was so long ago. But I'm really happy that it's pulling what it is. And we did leave a review for the movie, spoilers and non-spoilers. So you guys should look back to that if you guys want to look into it. But I mean, our rating, I think my rating was a 9.5 or a 9 out of 10. I kind of forget.
I think it was 9.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't remember.
I think you were 8.5 or 9. One or the other. But, like, we were around the same ballpark. I think it's deserved it. I think this is, like, my favorite. We did talk about this in the review, but I think it's, like, up top 3, in my opinion. I liked it more than Homecoming.
Yep.
But the fact that it's making this much money, it's... Sony, get your hands off of it. Like
absolutely, cut that shit out.
They're already doing Morbius, which is not needed. Like I think it's just a vampire movie with the name stuck to it, so they know that hey, it's a Marvel name that no one gives a shit about. In my opinion, maybe like
you are correct. That is a correct statement.
Like what do you know Morbius from? Like I can only remember him from the animated series.
Same.
That's it, right? Like yeah. I was just like, who's this pale vampire with blue hair? And that's it. And Far From Home, I have a question. Like, if it wasn't, okay, if, Sony took it back and they did make a sequel, like the third movie, you think this movie would be making the numbers it is, like, right now? Or do you think that the audience today would be so blind that they didn't even know it was switched over? That, like, oh, Tom Holland's in it, I'm just going to assume it's part of the MCU. Let's fucking watch it. Like, do you think that it would make the same like numbers it is right now for a third movie?
I don't, because the general fan might cross over, but the diehard fan wouldn't, and I think that would make a big enough difference.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. It's just like it's a hard idea because I don't know. I also thought like another question I want to propose to you is like, do you think Spider-Man would make the same amount of numbers, even though he's in the MCU, but he didn't reference like the MCU? You know what I mean? Like it wasn't heavily dependent on Tony Stark and all that stuff. Because I feel like Tony Stark is a critical part, obviously, in this version of Spider-Man. He's really techie compared to Spider-Man in the comics. Do you think like it would still have the legging for it?
If it was what was it?
If it was like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna word this. all right, I don't know how to word it, but pretty much if they rebooted another Spider-Man, yeah, this is a new question. If they rebooted another Spider-Man and it wasn't tied to the MCU, you think it would be making money like it is?
No.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to get your opinion.
That's like absolutely not.
Yeah, so it's like imagine in a parallel universe or a multiverse that Tom Holland's casted as Spider-Man, but it's not MCU related. Nah. Yeah, nah. All right. I just wanted to throw that out there, pretty much. But so if we move on from Marvel, go a little bit of DC. So Christopher McQuarrie, who did Mission Impossible, Fallout, and Henry Cavill. So there was a rumor that Christopher McQuarrie and Cavill were working together because they really, with the success of Mission Impossible, they were trying to write a Superman movie that would tie into the Green Lantern Corps and lead into the Green Lantern Corps movie that Christopher McQuarrie would be involved in. And apparently, so like remember this was a rumor, but apparently Christopher McQuarrie took to Twitter and he was like, "Yeah, me and Cavill made a proposal to WB," and they straight up said no. There was just no one's backing it up, and it just didn't fall through. Yeah, isn't it like it's so dumb? But like even like right now, like we think that they're slowly getting their act together, DC. Just hearing this is really sad, and like if you hear it and you're thinking about Cavill, and we'll delve into this because Cavill might not be Superman, and he's gonna be in The Witcher, which we'll get into obviously. It just like makes me feel bad because like I feel like Cavill really wants to stay, but they kind of like force his hand, and he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to be like Ben and just like call it quits. Because I really think he's not coming back.
I don't think so either.
And it's kind of weird and hard to, take in.
It's a letdown.
Yeah, it's a letdown. It's just the fact that like you have the director from Mission Impossible Fallout, which was making records for the Mission Impossible series being like, what, the sixth movie? Fifth, I don't even know how many Mission Impossible movies there are. It's just... it was heartbreaking. I was just like, all right, like a Green Lantern crossover with Superman that would bleed into Green Lantern Corps, so he'd already have footing, and it'd be like intergalactic because it's Superman. With Green Lantern. Whatever. It's just.
It's a fantastic premise, and they just are morons.
Yeah, and the fact that Cavill was involved to pitch it, just for a Man of Steel sequel, like it just didn't pan out, and. Who knows?
A huge loss of potential. Yeah,
who knows when this was pitched? Like the timeline for this, but it's just like hearing this, you're just like, okay, like whatever. Like if that's gonna happen,
it probably was after. Like it probably was like right after Mission Impossible. He probably like was like in constant communication because of the whole Justice League thing, and like him. I know him and. Christopher got close on the set of Mission Impossible, so he probably like wrapped up the film and he was like, all right, I don't have any projects yet. It probably was after the film came out before Christopher signed on for Mission Impossible 7 or whatever, which one he signed on for.
There's so many. Yeah, I think he did multiple Mission Impossibles, right?
He's the first director to return for one, so he did this one and the one before it. The one before this one was
Was it Ghost Protocol? No,
Ghost Protocol was the fourth one.
Yeah. And there's so many.
Rogue
Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows the passion in that director, and with Cavill to get involved beyond his contract. You know what I mean? To get involved within the industry and be like, hey, like we have this idea. It just shows that how devoted he was, and now I think they kind of stripped it away from him like they did Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck was supposed to do Batman, and that was going to be like such a big thing for people when we heard it, and now it's just not coming into fruition. So we'll go back to Disney. Like we mentioned earlier, Wall Street Journal, House of Mouse has opened up the checkbook for The Mandalorian and Jon Favreau's live-action Star Wars series, which will launch alongside the streaming service in this November. We just wanted to mention that The Mandalorian, like I said earlier, is close to 50 million an episode. With what you said earlier is 8 episodes in the first season that has a hefty investment of 120 million for the entire series, and not including any associated marketing cost. So, yeah, that's like another. If you have the Marvel fans and then now Star Wars, it's just gonna be such a hit. And even with what people are saying with Lion King, like it's just like scene by scene, literally like the cartoon. Favreau still has a good track record. But who knows? Like with the success of this, they're already writing season 2. Like they're in the middle of it. So I wonder how like the Cassian Andor series is going to turn out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about it too because I was like, okay, how much can we expand on that? And like, what's his name? Gabriel Luna, Diego Luna.
Diego Luna.
Yeah, Diego Luna. I mean, how busy is he for him to be committed to that? But it's Disney, so I feel like they can rack it in. But Disney just keeps on making bank. But if we go to Netflix, but we're on the bonus round right now, so we're gonna talk about other properties besides comic book properties. So Stranger Things breaking records. So as of July 8th, a record of 40.7 million household accounts have watched at least some of Stranger Things season 3. That's more than any other Netflix film or series in its first 4 days. So if we had to like look back in retrospect, Umbrella Academy was viewed 45 million households in 1 month. Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler's comedy Murder Mystery, I don't know why he's making movies, was watched over 30 million accounts in the first 3 days. And Bird Box, everybody knows that. Thriller starring Sandra Bullock was watched by 45 million accounts over the course of a week. So obviously when you hear about this, Stranger Things is fire, like pretty much, and
It's the bomb.
It's breaking records in the first 4 days is ridiculous. And plus, it's a holiday. People have plans, and it shows that people are coming out to watch Stranger Things. And just to add, Netflix previously clarified that a quote unquote view, is considered as someone who watched at least 70% of one episode.
I appreciate them being upfront about that.
Yeah, no, it's cool that they're being upfront because YouTube is weird. Like when you count as something as on YouTube as a view, it's only a couple seconds and it counts as one. But like the fact that they straight up say like, oh, we really want you guys to watch it and we'll count it, is really cool for them to mention because a lot of people, if you guys don't know, like Netflix apparently doesn't release a lot of numbers, to be honest, about like logistics of their properties. So it's like, they say that something's a success. You kind of don't know like how much of a success it is. And the fact that they actually mentioned like the one exception is Stranger Things breaking a record, that's just how you know like it's really that much of a phenomenon. Even though some people think like season 3 is like all right, but I personally love season 3. I think it's like my second favorite. Keanu, where does that stand with you again?
I'm still just see, I liked season 2 more than most people. But I also, like we said last episode, I'm also a little biased because I love Halloween, I love Ghostbusters, but it's either tied with season 2 as my second favorite, or it is my second favorite. So it's more or less the same opinion.
Yeah. So like that's why I said like I think Netflix is still going to be killing it even with post Disney Plus, and these numbers do show, and I think they're covering a market that Disney Plus can't cover, but yet again we mentioned Hulu. So like I feel like this episode's a lot of Disney because Disney's just a fucking monopoly at this point. We're about to be, and like our next topic is Disney Mulan. So according to Disney Insider, the film will not have any music tracks tied to this adaptation, and Mushu the dragon who's played by Eddie Murphy is getting replaced by Phoenix. And even though there's no music tracks in this adaptation, they're gonna play instrumental versions, but that's not the change. That's not the only changes. They're changing the love interest, the villain, and apparently Mulan's like an original story that just not Disney wrote, but it's like an actual like Chinese story. So they said they were gonna base it on like the actual original story. It's just I kind of lost my faith in Disney live actions. I don't know about you, but like after
I'm just a little tired.
Yeah, I feel like after The Lion King, I haven't seen Lion King, but like watching the reviews and it's like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, they're obviously just doing this for a cash grab. And now hearing Mulan, like maybe this will be a good thing, but like hearing it now, I'm kind of like not sold on it. And I did see the trailer and I thought I was like, okay, this looks like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which isn't bad. It's just like, are we gonna like play homage to the original property of like the cartoon we all grew up with? But Keanu, what are your thoughts on the trailer? Like, have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. I mean,
How do you feel about it? I don't know, man.
I'm definitely like I'm super indifferent about it. Like you said, I love Disney, and I'm a little tired. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a little tired of the live action remakes. They're pumping them out pretty quick, and I mean, it is. I feel like the movie does have potential. Like if it's based off, I mean, I would be cool to get like a I don't know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type film from Disney. I mean, it would be a cool premise, but I have to see another trailer because the first trailer didn't just sell me on it immediately. It was an okay trailer.
Yeah, I just felt like it was really underwhelming. It was weird. It just didn't feel like Mulan. And this isn't like really new news, like that they're not having music tracks. It was kind of like a rumor for a while, and it's like I just think it's a risk. Like I don't know if it's like they thought of this because of Lion King, like oh we need to like switch it up, but yet again they plan these movies ahead of like way ahead of time. So I don't know. It just like you said they are pushing out these live action adaptations way too fast. Like and now we'll get into it. I mean we might as well get into it. Fuck it. Like you know the Little Mermaid. That was a controversy going around. You know they're already planning this out. Melissa McCarthy is going to play Ursula. They do have Jason Tremblay playing as Ariel's playful pal Flounder, and Aquafina is going to be playing Scuttle the seagull. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but the Ariel who's casted is Hal Bailey, who's 19, and she's a singer and part of an R&B duo called Chloe and Hit Hall. And she really doesn't have a lot of acting credit except in Freeform's Yara Shahidi series Grown-ish. I really don't know much, but I mean, of course, there's a lot of controversy. Of course,
when they announced it, I misread it as Halle Berry, and I was so confused.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, Halle Berry.
I was like, wait, how old is Halle Berry? How is she gonna be the Little Mermaid?
Listen, I'd still go. I'd be like, all right, I'm for Halle Berry. Like, you go, girl. Like John Wick. Now this. That'd be so funny. But I mean, there's a lot of controversy because, like, of course, like some politics has to get involved. But like, I'm okay with the casting. I guess like I can see what Disney's doing, trying to mix it up. But at the same time, I'm like, if we wanted to like, have like true diversity, I feel like we should like have an original property for that to happen. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I'm not even a big Little Mermaid fan. I'm more of a Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. That was my thing, but I just want them to write this well. That's it.
I will say that it's actually kind of funny, like weirdly funny, how often in like media lately redheads have been recast as black.
Yeah.
So redhead white people are white people, but redhead white people do get a little bit more slack than the average white person. So like they're already kind of a minority, and they're getting even more like marginalized because they keep getting recast as black people. It's just funny.
It's funny because someone made they made a picture like side by side of how many people were number of redheads replaced by African Americans. Like Zendaya was one, and then the girl from Flash was supposed to be a redhead.
Mm-hmm. Who else was there? There was a couple. Oh, Jimmy Stewart from Superman.
Yeah. Also, it's just
there was a bunch of them. There's a crap ton. Oh, Wally West.
Wally West. Yes. That's just a crazy correlation.
Flash.
No, but when I saw this picture, it was a whole list of characters, and I'm like, I think this is an attack on redheads. Like if we're talking about diversity, it's like, is it wrong? But I mean, Little Mermaid. Just please, Disney, put effort into it. Like you're gonna make money, but I feel like the average person's sick of it. Because I was talking to like a random adult, and they're like, they straight up said, I'm kind of sick of the live adaptations already. It's like we need something new, but I feel like this is gonna be happening for like the next 5 years, and I'm like, kind of like annoyed just to say that, like I'm kind of like,
yeah, I do.
Like, all right. But I mean, if we're gonna go to the original content, Jumanji, the Next Level trailer dropped, and we actually saw the trailer when we saw Far From Home, right?
Yeah, we did. Yep, and I was cracking up.
Yeah, I'm sold. And that
I was cracking up.
Like I feel like we were the loudest ones in that theater, like just laughing at like all the jokes, especially during the movie. Like
we just have that good of a sense of humor that we got all the jokes.
We have class, that's why. But like the trailer was good, and it has so many views on YouTube, it's crazy. And I think this is The Rock's like peak moment right now, like that, and then the Fast and Furious series, which I'll consider watching. But
Yeah, I was dying in the trailer. I was like, it's so genius to have him act like he's Danny freaking DeVito, and then have Kevin Hart act like he's Danny Glover.
Yeah,
oh
Danny
my gosh.
Glover.
Donald Glover. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was cracking up. I was cracking up. He's like, "What's a Jumanji?" Oh man, it's so funny.
But like, it's for him to like expand on his acting too, which is like a cool thing to see, and yeah, Danny Glover and Danny DeVito is just such a great addition, and that was my first time seeing it, so that caught me off guard, and I was like, whoa, like, okay, this is new, and it's gonna expand on Jumanji itself because the character was apparently like editing or messing with the technology, so. To reiterate, Jumanji's coming. It's an action comedy, obviously, so it's going to be hitting theaters on December 13th, 2019, which I think is a great release date for this, especially the holiday season coming up. Gremlins is actually getting, an animated series by WB, and it's actually a prequel with a 10-episode series order. It's called Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. It's basically, it's before the events of the 80s classic in 1920s Shanghai. When they say animated, I always thought originally Gremlins was supposed to be a horror movie, dark comedy, but like then the second movie kind of turned into like a kids thing. And I don't know what direction they're going for Gremlins to be an animated series, especially by WB.
I think it'll be like a more tame version of the first one. I don't know because
it's just weird because we don't have enough footage or enough content from Gremlins because they only had 2 movies. Not that I recall of. But isn't it crazy like how properties evolve? Like say Ninja Turtles, they were supposed to be like Daredevil, or they inspired Daredevil, and there was like a bloody comic, and now it's a kid's show. It's just crazy how what Hollywood does to these some properties, and it's like Gremlins originally in the 80s when it came out, it was like a dark comedy horror, and it kind of became a joke, but I don't know who's asking for this. I don't think it's going to be a draw for WB. Especially for the streaming service, but I feel like people are trying to grab what they can for nostalgia points and something to get someone. But like, I mean, do you have what's your involvement with Gremlins? Like, it's okay for you?
I'm a huge fan of Gremlins. It's one of my family's favorite films. I love the first one. The second one is a little campier, but
yeah,
there's the one scene in it that I literally crack up at every time.
Wait, which one?
So you know how in the first one, Phoebe Cates. Her whole backstory is her dad died climbing up the chimney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, spoiler alert, but in the second one, because the second one is campier and is almost like a spoof of the first one. In the second one, the second one's based on like July 4th or Independence Day or something, and she's like, they remake the scene from the first movie when she's telling the story, and she's like, yeah, I hate Independence Day, my dad, and then they just cut her off, and they're like, nope, we're not doing the sad story, like we're on to the next one. And it's just so funny the way they pull it off.
Oh my god, I gotta rewatch. I think it's on Netflix right now, actually.
For now,
yeah, that's yeah. When WB yanks that back, but I mean, I feel like these properties have been on Netflix for so long. It's like they have their grounding. It's not going to hurt them. Next news: Invisible Man. We did talk about the Dark Universe a couple episodes. It's kind of dead in the water, but now they're just focusing on solo films. So Deadline reports that the role of the Invisible Man has went to The Haunting of Hill House standout Oliver Jackson Cohen. Did you watch Haunting of Hill House?
Hell yeah, I loved it.
Okay, good. I was about to say, because that's a masterpiece. I watched it
it's phenomenal.
I watched it in one day. Actually, one night, because I didn't know how good it was. But Oliver Jackson Cohen, I forget what character. He played Luke. Yeah. So older version of Luke is playing the Invisible Man. I won't say anything until I see it, because originally Johnny Depp was supposed to be in it, and now he's not. But he was getting an opportunity to, show up if he wanted in another role or something small. I just laugh how embarrassing the Dark Universe was, because I did tell you that they had an office, because my buddy worked in Cali, in the film industry.
That's so cool.
And they had an office for Dark Universe with all these old school, like, Universal monsters. Like, they're all themed.
What I would have gave to be there, man. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of classic Universal horror monsters.
And they deserved the attention.
Yep.
Like, they built Hollywood. You know what I mean? And it sucks because like that office that was hyped up is just completely empty now. But maybe they brought it back up. Who knows? But not under the Dark Universe. But what are your thoughts on this casting news? I think it's all right. It's kind of like not a big name, so there's more flexibility with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's smart. I think it's smart.
I think it's very smart, but we got to see like how this rating's gonna be. Is it gonna be like because it's focused on horror actually, not like The Mummy, which I wasted my time on. I don't know if you saw that with Tom Cruise.
I didn't. I am gonna watch it at some point because it's like on HBO or whatever, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I'd say give it like a Sunday afternoon. You're relaxing, watch it. It's just like it's kind of like a lost. It's kind of lost for tone. It's kind of like trying to be funny in action, but like it's supposed to be horror. So there's that. So if we're going off of Invisible Man, this was some cool news that Mortal Kombat that's getting produced by James Wan casted Sub-Zero. This is from the THR, and Indonesian actor martial artist Joe Taslim from The Raid and The Night Comes For Us has signed to play Sub-Zero. And I'm so excited for this, to be honest. I think my hype's slowly building up for this movie. And I think it's mainly because when I hear The Raid, if you guys never seen The Raid, crazy.
It's
movie.
intense.
It's very intense. You guys should watch it. I'm thinking of Mortal Kombat turning into this, like especially with Joe being casted. I'm thinking of John Wick, but with superpowers, and that just gets me excited.
Oof, so good.
Because I was watching, I was doing some research on Joe, and I did watch The Night Comes For Us, like the fight scenes, and it's so John Wick inspired because it's like, it's grappling and it's hits. Like John Wick has that grapple style where he's throwing people and moving their bodies in a certain way, but the director for this is director Simon McQuoid, and this is his feature debut, but he's like a veteran commercial director where he's made some like iconic commercials. But, James Wan, majority of the time, is he has a positive, resume for everything. But I'm excited. I just want this to be so good. I did see in a YouTube video that, like, one of the people that was working in the film, they were in an interview, and they were like, no, this movie's going to be rated R, and that there's going to be fatalities. So, I mean, like, what's your idea on the Mortal Kombat film? Because you saw the first one, or no? Did you see the original?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it? Because I honestly, I'm getting more and more excited every time I hear news about it. I don't know why.
I'm super pumped for it. I think the film has a lot of potential. I love the characters. I think visually it's going to look amazing. They can create a really cool. I think the storyline's really cool. Like this combat, this tournament of universes. It has so much potential that like. And the casting so far sounds great. I mean, I'm super excited. I cannot wait to see more as we get closer. And I want to see like Scorpio versus Sub-Zero with like modern day graphic effects and modern day acting on the big screen. It's going to be so cool.
I mean, the fact that they got an Asian guy to play Sub-Zero, which was great. And Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and Sub-Zero and Scorpion looked Asian. Like, that was, like, really cool for them to look based on the material. And I kind of saw this trend where it's, like, these Asian martial artists and, like, they're starting to learn how to act. And
yeah.
It's just overall Asian influence on, Hollywood. It's popular. Like Ip Man himself is so popular, like, among, like, nerds like us. And especially with Shang-Chi coming out, I think that's really going to hit it for us. The character from Power Rangers was a good actor who played the Black Power Ranger. But I'm just glad like they went to the source material, and I wasn't in doubt because James Wan was attached to it, and he's already having a good he has a good resume.
He's killing it.
He's killing it, but like when I say killing it, like he killed it with the first Conjuring. Like the other stuff was like, that was like a different director, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like La Llorona, like that was not James Wan. Like he was associated with it, but it wasn't him, like his film. Just to like, clarify with some people and people listening, just to, James overall is fine, especially with Aquaman. But like our last tidbit, The Witcher. Did you play The Witcher?
I love that game.
Okay, because I am not a Witcher. I have never played The Witcher. I'm waiting for it to go on Switch, which I don't know how it's gonna run, to be honest. Um, but looking up what The Witcher is, and these monster hunters that like drink these potions to like do crazy stuff. I think, and like The Witcher. Not, I guess a lot of people, if you don't know, it's an old series of novels by
A
Andrzej.
Polish dude.
Yeah, Polish guy, Zapkowski. I tried, but the main popularity for the franchise came from the video game, and the fact that it's coming to Netflix. Marvel TV for Netflix is gone, and Netflix is just focusing on this, and it's supposed to debut in the fall. And who's playing it is actually Henry Cavill, we mentioned earlier. And like Keanu, like, so The Witcher and you love the series. Like, what's your thoughts on Cavill being casted as him, and the fact that it's on Netflix? I have high hopes. This could be better than Game of Thrones, in my opinion, like, or the next Game of Thrones. Like, so up at that level, this could be pulled off, and it probably would be the best video game series or like adaptation if they pull it off. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree completely. The first look looks fantastic. The first look didn't look that good. The wig, I don't know if it wasn't fitted properly, but the first look was like, oh, maybe, I don't know. But then they showed, Henry put those photos up on his Insta, and it was like, wow, okay, this is looking like it's gonna knock some socks. Like, this is gonna be an interesting story. A faithful adaptation so far. It has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential for Netflix as a whole. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to binge it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the character of Geralt, and I'm like, he doesn't look like Cavill. But then like the second image they actually released like last week or 2 weeks ago, it looks fine. And it's crazy because it's Henry Cavill. He's going from the big screen to the small screen, which isn't like crazy because Triple Frontier happened. A lot of actors are doing original properties on Netflix. Like Brad Pitt has done some movie on Netflix. Netflix is killing it, man. They're looking for ways to adapt, and I think they're having like contingency plans to fight Disney Plus, like keep it going. Mm-hmm. And just to add on, like Sandman is coming to Netflix with an 11 episode season based on the DC comic. Based on the comic series with Neil Gaiman attached and David S. Goyer and Alan Heinberg. So it's like they're planning ahead. But to the limits of the Witcher series, like that, you can agree that there could be so many seasons on this own property itself, right? Correct.
Oh, definitely, absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's 3 games. I think there's more, and there's like more materials from the books.
Okay.
And there's so much content in the 3rd game alone that could be like three seasons alone. Like, they can definitely make this like a full saga.
Yeah, and that's what I like to hear. And plus, it's just like, oh man, it's like it's running off with Game of Thrones, and it's coming at a right time where the fantasy's the hottest thing. You know what I mean? It's not too long after Game of Thrones is ended that this could pick up, and I feel like Witcher 3 is a takeoff point for a lot of new people. I don't know what it was, to be honest, but like when I hear The Witcher, I hear Witcher 3 being like, this is it, and it got a lot of new people on. And when it does come out on Switch, I'm gonna cop it and just try it out. But I mean, do you agree that like Witcher 3 was like kind of the takeoff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of it till Witcher 3. The game is phenomenal. CD Projekt Red did a fantastic job, and the world building in that game was enough for me to go, hey, listen, I need to find out more about The Witcher, because there's so much going on in this that like it's done so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this series, and Netflix is killing it. They'll stay killing it. This could honestly be their rebuttal for Game of Thrones, and it's like I'm very excited for it. And Sandman coming on with 11 seasons, and it's finally getting taken off because Sandman was supposed to be a movie, and I think back then Joseph Gordon-Levitt. See, we're on par. We're on par. See, this is how we're friends. But yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was supposed to be on it, and it got scrapped. But it's like another property that was trying to get remade, but it didn't happen, was The Crow. Remember that? That was coming to talks.
I'm sorry, like I'm glad. I mean, the guy, like Brandon Lee died making that film. Like,
Yeah,
it's fine. Leave it be. Like, it would not everything has to be remade. And then on top of that, a guy died filming it. So like
let's
like
just let it go.
yeah,
And like the rumor before it was Jason Momoa was gonna do it, but
yep.
then it just didn't happen. And it's like, all right, if this was multiple occasions that this failed. At this point, it's time to give it up. But guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode. Thank you for tuning in, Mashup Movie Talk. But I'm deciding on when to drop episodes for this, like a better date, because I do want to have it on time and be consistent with it for you guys. But we haven't decided yet. But remember, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher, and be sure to tune in on YouTube as well. And when you subscribe, be sure to hit the bell so you know you get a new notification when we drop new material. But guys, thank you again. We'll see you next week.